What's going on, guys? Dirk that I hear, and we're playing some Doom. I believe this. Yeah, this is just playing the shareware version of good old Doom. And in the description, I will let you guys know how you can find the shareware WAD files, basically like the meat potatoes of the actual game, and the actual mod itself, which is a Z-Doom, that gives the game like a Z-axis. And what that does is it lets you look up and down and jump and crouch and all this other stuff. It sort of makes this game into a modern shooter. Because just like Wolfenstein 3D, this game, you know, it was just left to right, you know, front to back. That was it. There was no Z-axis, if you know what I mean. And you know, this game is a lot of fun. I mean, I still monkey around with it to this day. I still like to play it every once in a while. You know, it can be challenging. I'm playing it right now on Ultraviolence, which is it's the second highest difficulty level. And you know, even a game this old, it's still fun and it's still challenging. And you know, it sort of brings me back a little bit. You know. Brings me back to the days where, you know, this was, you know, there was no pressure, there was nothing about multiplayer or anything like that. I wasn't really concerning myself with getting really high scores or anything. I was just sitting back and killing some monsters and having fun, you know. A simpler time, better time. And, you know, the game gives you a pretty decent assortment of weapons. You got the shotgun, pistol, you got the chain gun. There's no like machine gun or anything. You just get straight up chain gun. In Doom 2 and onward, you get a double barrel shotgun, and it goes in the same slot as your shotgun. It's a good weapon just to pull out, just, you know, in sticky situations when you know where you need it. But for the most part, you kind of just want to stick with the shotgun. I think it's like the best weapon in the game. It's but there are times where you pull out the chain gun and you do some work. Usually I alternate between them. I'll pull out the chain gun when I'm full on shotgun ammo, and I'm pretty good on pistol ammo. And there's gonna be like a lot of mobs I gotta take down. You know, just a lot of monsters I gotta kill. And I don't really have much time to dodge or anything. You get that thing out, and what happens is if you're constantly spraying them with bullets, whoever you're shooting, you know, they don't move. They just sort of sit there and take it. You know, especially useful on those Kako demons or whatever. I don't remember if this blood spray on the walls was I don't know if that was a Z-Doom edition or if that was originally on PC. I can't remember. But yeah, this game came out in like the mid 90s, I think like 93, 94, and it's been ported on a lot of consoles. I own it on Jaguar and Super Nintendo, but I think it's also been ported to the 3DO, which that was a monumental waste of money right there. The 3DO. Actually, I didn't own it, but I used to work at a game store and a flea market, and I used to spend a lot of time playing it. There were some fun games, and you know, the 3DO was funny because most of the games when there was like voice acting or whatever, they employed like these cheap English actors, and I'm not saying anything against British actors. I'm just saying, well, it's funny because they're employing these cheap English actors because they're just terrible. Like, there was a game called Crash and Burn, and it was just the acting in there was just priceless. There's no way to, it was just absolutely terrible. But yeah, guys, Doom. What else can I say? You know, it's a freaking bloodbath, killing monsters. You know, it's really simple, simplistic game, but it's simple in like the objective. But you know, back in the day, this was a technological feat. I mean, you may not see it, but there's like, you know, light mapping and you can tell, like there's dark areas and light areas all in the same area. That was impossible back then, you know. That was unheard of, to have like areas that are lighter and darker than the other. You know, we take this stuff for granted, but you know, John Carmack, you know, he was a genius, and he just released id Tech 4, which is the it's like the Doom 3 engine, if I'm not mistaken, or Doom 4, I can't remember. It's the engine of the latest Doom that just came out, and he just released it, and you know, it's going to be amazing to see what happens. By released it, I mean like he opened the source code. I'm pretty sure it's still on a contractual basis. Like, you know, you're still going to have to pay revenue, or like for me, if I picked it up, I think it would be free for me to use, right? If I were to sell the game for, you know, not for profit, pro bono. But if I were to sell a game, I think you have to pay some kind of royalties. I'm not really sure, but what they're saying is you can go ahead and use it, and if you make any money with it, you know, you get a cut. I think that's how it works. I'm not really entirely sure. And I'm hoping, like, you know, a studio like Respawn, who used, I think, id Tech 3 or id Tech 2, which was the Quake 3 engine. I'm talking about West and Zampella, the guys from Infinity Ward. You know, they used that engine, that piece of id Software technology to, you know, make the Call of Duty 2 engine. And maybe it was also the first Call of Duty, but I know for sure it was Call of Duty 2 and forward after that, you know. You know, COD 4, World at War has some, you know, roots in that as well. And the reason why Treyarch really has been using the Infinity Ward's engine is because, I mean, like, they really haven't had any time to make their own engine, you know? Like, Treyarch got thrown in the mix during Call of Duty 2 when they wanted, like, sort of like an expansion called the Big Red One or whatever. I think that was right around when, like, the beginning of Treyarch started to happen, and to my knowledge, without going on Wikipedia or anything, because I don't like doing that, because, you know, like, going on Wikipedia doesn't, like, what's the point of doing that? It's like, you know, oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. Let me go online, and I'm going to show you how much of a genius I am. No, this is coming from my brain. If I'm wrong, and I'm wrong, I don't really care. But, you know, they went from making that mod, the Big Red One, Big Red sucked, to making Call of Duty 3, just like that, and it was like 6 or 8 months to make that game. You know, like Treyarch has always been behind. I don't know why I'm talking about Treyarch right now during the Doom, but you know, hey, this is kind of related, right? Because this is an id Tech engine. It's id Tech 1, I think, and it really just shows, man. It just shows how far we've gotten. That's why I'm, you know, doing this commentary and showing you this gameplay. Even to this day, this game really doesn't look that bad. I mean, I know it looks kind of crappy and kind of granular, but you know, it doesn't really look that bad compared, you know. This is how far ahead of their time, or at least John Carmack and the guys at id Software was, you know. And with the new engines, you know, his new engine's coming out, because the guy's still coding, man. The guy will never stop coding. Until his hands fall off, that man will never stop coding. You know, and yeah, it's like, oh, well, why are we relying on id Software to make our engines? Well, because they have the time to do it. A lot of these studios don't have enough time, because the shareholders, they want, you know, they want their money and they want it quickly. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. And, you know, they want their money and they want it now. So, you know, it doesn't really leave much time for development. So this is what we get, you know? And it's kind of cool that, like, Carmack and the boys just go ahead and say, alright, the hell with it. You guys can have our engine, do what you gotta do with it. And I think the same is with Unreal, the Unreal Engine. And that's a series I will be covering soon, Unreal, because that's an amazing series and I absolutely love it. If I can get my hands on it, I'll also do Daikatana, because Daikatana was a really cool game back in the day, and I think, you know, it was completely unappreciated. Nobody, I mean, I don't know if any of you guys even know anything about Daikatana. That was a cool game, though. I kind of miss playing that game. But anyway, we're just gonna wrap this up here. So I'm gonna cut to the gameplay in a second, and my monitors went blank. I just want to tell you guys I did start a podcast. If you haven't noticed, if you're still listening, and you know, for right now, I'm still just trying to like define myself and what I'm doing on this podcast. But you know, I started out just doing news articles. I think I'm gonna stray away from that and sort of do the whole. I'm gonna like write some articles and stuff, and just you know, share my thoughts on all that. And I think that'd be a lot better than just reading articles, because that was kind of boring and slow. And maybe, I don't know, like, you guys like it or not. I haven't gotten any comments or feedback on that, so I don't really know what to do with it yet. But you know, just let me know in the comments, guys, what you guys think. And I don't know. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut out the commentary right here and just let it finish up the brilliant sounds of doom. And I'll catch y'all later.